As tradition on the show, we always bring a new and unique craft beer to review and enjoy. So, guys, what are you drinking tonight? I'm going to start with Angelo Trinidad.
All right, so it is a brand new month, and February brings us Black History Month. So this month, I'm going to highlight Black-owned breweries the next few weeks to kind of talk about them and their products. So this first one I wanted to talk about, obviously, what drew me to this is the musicality behind the name of the beer or the brewery, and this is a Rhythm Brewing Company. They're based out of New Haven, Connecticut. And not only are they a Black-owned business, but is a woman-owned business. This was founded by Elisa Bowens Mercado in March of 2018. So their flagship beer, which is the Rhythm Lager, it's a modern American-style lager with an ABV of 5.5%, brewed with South African hops. Rhythm is unfiltered, flavorful, and has a slight bite that leaves you wanting more. They also just recently released their newest brew, the Rhythm Blue Unfiltered Light Lager. It's an American-style light lager brewed for a smooth, crisp, clean finish, light in calories but not light in flavor. And upon hashtag doing the research, the Rhythm Unfiltered Lager is actually featured in a 2019 music video by Wale for his song BGM, Black Girl Magic. So Rhythm Brewing Company, great to be able to highlight them, and definitely I'm going to try to be on the hunt for this at some point down the line.
Very cool. Very cool.
Their logo is so cool. Super well designed. How's that beer?
It's an American style lager, so very similar to your basic lagers in other craft beers. But the main difference here in this one is brewed with South African hops. Mm-hmm. So I've never had a beer brewed with South African hops before. So definitely piques my interest.
Yeah, so 5.5. That's going to be one of those breakfast beers that we talk about.
Yeah, quite possibly a breakfast appetizer beer at 5.5. Yeah.
And you also had the one from Nashville. This kind of reminds me of the one that you picked up in Nashville.
Yeah, Music City beer is what I picked up in Nashville. Also a lager. Picked that up at the airport right after the gate. So very convenient.
There's another brewery called Fat Bottom. I remember they had like little spots at the gate, like where they were just selling a couple beers. And I'm like, oh, this is heaven right here. Yeah. Not like the restaurant. It's actually just like a little kiosk. It's crazy. Yep.
Yeah. Great stuff. Thank you for that. And I know you're going to be doing that throughout February.
The month of February. Yep.
Awesome. That definitely ties into what we're going to be talking about tonight. So I'm glad that you featured this. Thank you so much for that. Next up, Kevin Lyon. This is a familiar one.
All right. If you want to hear a song with good rhythm in it, what do you need to play it through, Michael Mondragon? A stereo.
A stereo, of course.
So, that's the easy part I just threw in there. Let me find my can. So last week, I told the story where I went over there for their 6th anniversary party, Stereo Brewing out of Placentia, California, not Placenta, Cowboy Jack. Don't get all excited about it. It's in, I would say, like the northeastern part of Orange County, so about 15 minutes or so from Anaheim. They had their 6th anniversary, and they made this anniversary stout with some cool artwork on here. And I bought it, and then all of a sudden I see on the can, which version do you have? And I'm like, there's 2. So I have the silver one, the gold one. The silver one is what I have tonight. It's our fresh stout, unadulterated, just malt, water, hops, and yeast. And then last week on the show, because I asked the panel, is I should have the gold one. So I did, and that was the same beer, but with toasted coconut and marshmallow for a confectionery spin. So they do a lot of music themed beers. Like their last year on the show, I had a beer called Debaser by a song by the Pixies. They had a lot they had stuff named after Bob Dylan, Lou Reed. I saw go to the list of beers. They had one for Kraftwerk. There you go, Michael. So a lot of older kind of music, so old like me, And so tonight I got this one again. This is the Year 6 Imperial Stout coming in at Cowboy Jack, 13.5%.
Nice. So, brunch beer, dude. Brunch beer.
We wanted to release something big to celebrate 6 years of Stereo of our fresh Imperial Stouts. We used 12 different roasted malts for added complexity and character. The result is a midnight black See how black that is. Midnight black beer with flavors of both milk and dark chocolate, toffee, and a slight warming heat at the end. So I figured, you know what? I had the variation last week. Let's have the original tonight. So that way I can enjoy 13.5 of Cowboy Jack because I missed out on that list.
Yeah, I think Kevin's going to be chatty during this. Is going to be a chatty podcast.
I knew I was going to be chatty just when I did a little hashtag the research over the weekend. So I was like, oh no, that's the other reason why I'm like, let's have this.
There you go. Perfect. No, this is great. And again, we owe Stereo Brewing another visit because I love just everything about it when we went there before, all the vinyl on the wall and they were playing records and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely super cool. We'll definitely have to make it back there very soon. Cowboy Jack, you are up. We actually talked about this, but I want your in-depth review of this.
Well, as previously mentioned, I was traveling through Utah last weekend. At one point, I found myself sitting in the Salt Lake City airport at a brewery with some time to kill. So I look over and I see this polygamy porter from Wasatch Brewing, and I thought, man, this is going to be fun to talk about with the guys. So I ordered this beer, like a taster of this beer, just solely based on the name, the can, and the thought of discussing this with you guys. What I didn't intend was to have such a strong reaction to this beer. The first drawback is that I was charged 50 cents for a taster. Like, I've never been in a brewery where they charge you for a taster. So like, that should have been my signal that like nobody gets a taster and then orders this beer.
Hey, Jack, quick question. So is this an actual Wasatch Brewery location at the airport, or is it a bar serving it?
No, it was a brewery inside the airport.
So it's actually Wasatch. Oh, wow. Okay.
No, sir. It was a separate brewery, like a tap room restaurant.
Oh, it's a tap room. Okay.
A gastropub. Yeah, they called themselves a brewery. Sorry.
Gotcha.
But they had all Wasatch beers on tap. Right.
Okay.
So I thought, all right, no big deal. It's tax deductible, right? This is show research. The best way that I can describe this 4%er is if you opened a can of Natural Light and left it on the counter of a bus stop restroom for a full 48 hours and then mixed it with burnt coffee from a convenience store in Lick Skillet, Tennessee. Before you ask, yes, it's a real town, and yes, the coffee is atrocious. The polygamy porter, guys, I'm sorry, it not only does it taste horrible, but it's so acidic. It's like it gave me acid reflux for an hour afterwards. I've never got such an acidic beer before, and I love IPAs, but this had a weird acidity to it that just, yikes, man. It was tough. They can't all be winners, guys. I think that maybe the porter isn't best brewed to keep it under the 4% alcohol by volume. I think that really takes away with it. So, maybe stick with the lighter. You go with a light IPA or a lager or a blonde, something like that where you can keep that ABV low. But this was flying too close to the sun, man. I gotta give this one 2 cowboy hats down, brother. Like,
oh man, and that sometimes happens when they get too cute, right? Kevin and I have gone to a couple breweries, and we just went there. Actually, Kevin avoided going to one just for the name. He refused to go.
That's right.
And
it was called Paparazzi.
Oh,
yes. Lord, dude,
that's no longer there. But I just
shocking. It didn't make it.
I go, we have to go. But Kevin, there's another one that we had a Groupon for, and there was a reason why it was a Groupon. But anyway, it had a cute name too that people seemed to like.
They originally were called like Black Cock Brewing. Like they changed their name for that, just I think to get attention. I think they were called like they had some Orange County theme in their name originally, and they changed Black Cock Brewing. I'm like,
yeah, and of course they had a rooster and everything. But it got too cute. So so I was gonna say, like, so you said like it's 4 or 5% ABV.
It's 4% ABV on a porter, which like legally their beer can't be over 5%, right?
Nothing in fair state.
Right, dude. Yes, no beer.
So is that stuff brewed in Utah?
Yes, sir. It
So
is.
Did you happen to go see? Did you happen to? I'm just fascinated by this. Did you go to like a liquor store or a different place? Were they selling like, let's say they're selling like stone beer?
So I went to a grocery store and they had like the standard fare, big macro brewery, Bud Light, Coors Light, but they're all 5%ers.
Right. You didn't see any like known craft beers like a Samuel Adams or anything like that, or Sierra Nevada. Wow.
No, sir.
Wow, that's I didn't know that either. That's fascinating.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Not many IPAs to be found, my man.
It sounds like England when I was over there. A lot of you might IPAs under 5%.
Yeah.
Wow. What was the name of that town? Lake Skillet?
Lick Skillet.
Okay, I gotta see where that is. Is it anywhere near Bucksnort?
No, it's not near Bucksnort. Yes, they're both real towns.
I went by there and had to go through Bucksnort.
Yeah,
or Mudlick, Kentucky.
Mudlick, Kentucky.
I don't think that's real, sir. Come on.
Wow, too funny. Well, thank you for reviewing this one, and
I will not be tagging Wasatch Brewery in our post.
Yeah, no, so I feel like I give so many glowing reviews that every one that I give is honest, and I had to be honest. Like, I would hate for somebody to grab this expecting a porter and then have the experience that I had. I don't think it's the right type of craft beer to brew at that low ABV. It just doesn't. You're losing something in the process.
And that taste, it was like a 4-ounce taster.
Yeah,
like
yeah. It was bad, man. It gave me real bad heartburn. It's just something about it, just not great, man.
It's too bad.
But I got to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. A porter at a low ABV doesn't sound like a good combination. You definitely like Kevin's is Kevin's is pretty high right there. So
I mean, the only reason why you get a stout, the only stout there's some stouts you can get that are lower ABV. Like Guinness is like under 5%, I believe. Guinness is I couldn't believe it when I found that out. When I'm like, what? You always think like, Guinness is such a strong beer. I'm like, no, it's not.
It's probably more malty than
exactly.
Yeah.
You'll find stouts that are like 5%, and you'll find stuff like this that's imperial stout or stuff that's bourbon barrel aged. They'll be sitting in the barrel for like a year and a half. Also, it comes out like 14% or something. You're like, whoa,
right?
And then it's time for breakfast.
Exactly. Well, thank you for that, Jack. And I think we all have dark beers here today, so this is awesome. And so when Cowboy Jack and I, a few weeks back went to the Cactus Tap Room, I actually said that I can't say never, but I haven't had a black IPA, and so I wanted to try it. So here it is. This is Olber's Paradox, a black IPA by Wren House Brewing, 7.7 ABV. It's a Cascadian dark ale. In short, is a dark hoppy beer. This offering is seriously hoppy, jumping out of the glass with notes of pine, citrus, berry, and stone fruit, supported by highly kilned rye and barley malts for color, body, and a pillowy head retention. With a lighter body, smooth finish, and nestled in at 7.7 ABV, this beer will keep you coming back for another sip of refreshing hoppiness to start you taking down the rabbit hole of life's other mysteries. And as you see there, it is super.
The darkness.
Wow.
The darkness, brother. And it is. It. You know what? So when at first glance, you think, oh, I'm going to get exactly what Jack thought, is like, oh, this is like a porter. It's going to be super kind of, I won't say syrupy, but just real, almost, it has a different consistency to it.
Yeah, and it's like a macchiato. Like it's
it's got some volume to it. So this one is actually very light. Really? It's way lighter than I expected. I mean,
is there an IBU on that?
No IBU on this one.
Okay.
And it's because it's true because it's not super hoppy. It does have like the pine and citrus and berry they talk about. The stone fruit you can definitely smell on your nose as well. But what I asked at the tap room was like kind of what makes it a black IPA, and I guess it's the malts. the malt that's made with it. And it's tremendous. And Wren House is like, I have to say, Wren House is probably at least now it's my favorite brewery right now in Phoenix, Arizona. So,
well, and hey, Cowboy Jack's #1 beer of the year was by Wren House.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They make a great beer.
They're definitely proving themselves to us, at least here at the Baseball Brew Crew.
Yeah,
Yes.
when you snagged this one off the shelf, I was really excited to see how it turned out. Like that, it just sounded super interesting. So
yeah, it was really, really good. I'm super glad that I got it. And definitely, if you see this one out there, and actually, my friend Phil, who actually gets a lot of different variations of beer in Arizona, he just he popped this one. He always sends me pictures of them. I'm just like, hey, I have that one. I'm going to put that on the show next week. And so he had it too. So he loves it.
Bill then.
Yeah. Cover Lang is
Cover Lang. I almost said Clever. I'm like Cover Lang. Yep.
Cover Lang is his pseudonym. And
Yes.
So cheers to our drinks tonight. These are awesome beers.